Obviously, we know thousands of people affected by losing a loved one to COVID, and those heroic workers on the COVID wards in NHS hospitals are doing a sterling job. But there's also millions of people who, through no fault of their own, have been horrifically affected by lockdown. And whether it's students missing out on life they'd got and had hoped for, as we spoke to yesterday, people losing loved ones to other diseases, being separated from their families, losing their business, their jobs, I'd like you to get in touch. You can email me at breakfast@talkradio.co.uk. That's breakfast@talkradio.co.uk. Give us your name, bit of a detail, and give us your mobile number, and we'll get to you on air. Well, Simon has done just that. He's 49 years old from Derbyshire. Good morning to you, Simon.
Good morning,
Good
Julia.
morning. Really appreciate you getting in touch. Thank you very much indeed. Well, I mean, you had a very, very difficult start to the lockdown process because your father died of coronavirus pretty early last year.
Yeah, that's correct. May the 1st, he was in hospital for quite some time. I live in Derbyshire, as you've said, and my parents live in Leicester. And because of the lockdown restrictions, I couldn't go and see my dad. And then he passed. And we've, even to this day, we've still not been allowed to have a wake for him. So we've not been able to grieve properly.
And it's such an important part of saying goodbye, isn't it? The proper funerals, proper wakes to mark you, show your grief, and also to celebrate a loved one's life.
Exactly. And there's so many firsts as well. It would have been his 70th birthday on the 26th of January this year. And we had to have a family Zoom call to raise a glass for him. Now, for me, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's inhumane what's going on. It really is. And then the day after that, I broke down at work. A grown man. I felt really bad because I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. And everything just hit me all at once. And I said to my friend, I just wish everything was over. And she took it that I meant I wanted my life to be over. Admittedly, I did think it for a few seconds, but my wife is my rock, my sturdy. And I just come back. And then the Valentine's weekend was a year to the Sunday that I saw my dad alive for the last time.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
me.
it was from then to May that he'd passed. So it was all that time that I wasn't even able to see him. And there just seems no end to this, no end at all.
I think that's what a lot of people feel. Can I just say there is absolutely no shame in breaking down in tears anywhere at any time, man or woman, dealing with grief and sadness and frustration and pain. There's no shame, and that's part of the human condition. I think it's a great thing in respect that actually you did have that release and you shared what you were going through. And this is you use the word inhumane. I think that's what a lot of people feel, because you surely would have taken every precaution if you could have seen your mum at that time, and she'd seen your father. You would have done everything to make sure that you were not taking risks for yourself or for anyone else, and even for a funeral. I mean, people can isolate, and yet none of this is allowed to happen. All this sort of, I think for a lot of people the difficulty is having all this personal decision making and control taken away from us, and the government's got it all, and we're just sort of puppets and only allowed to do the minimum we're allowed to do, even when it's hurting.
Yeah, and we weren't even allowed to see him at the chapel arrest. That was a no-no. Yeah. And there just seems no end to this. And I don't mean it in the wrong way, but we're not even allowed to move on.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck. You're stuck where you were a year ago.
In limbo, and at the moment, I'm off work at the moment because I've got fibromyalgia, and because of the stress and everything for the past month or so, it's brought on a bad flare-up.
Yeah. And
so I've got that, and I just don't know which way to turn.
And you've got
I'm worried about my mum because she's on her own.
Yeah. I think so many people are feeling those sort of feelings without even the extra strain of having lost someone so important to you, your father. And you've got your 50th birthday coming up soon, and it's not about having a party or anything like that. It's feeling that life is being lived and there's stuff to celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it would have been my mum and dad's 50th wedding anniversary this September.
So
That's
this
something
this should
else.
have been this amazing year of 70th and 50th and anniversaries and it's just been it's just been quite the opposite. I know I say this all the time, but it's honestly a lot of people in a lot of positions of power, cabinet ministers that listen to this show, and we put these things out on social media. They all follow us on Twitter. You got a message for the people making decisions at the moment, the Prime Minister and all the others. What is your message? What do you want them to know?
I just hope they get a conscience, to be honest, because what they're doing now, yes, at the very beginning, understandable, they didn't know, and that's all you hear. This is new. It's not new. It's been going on for nearly a year. I hope you get a conscience and start opening things up sooner rather than later. And we were born with freedoms. Our freedoms are our birthright, not for you to take away. How dare you take them away? It's not for you to do that.
Simon, I think you're speaking for an awful lot of people. I wish you all the best. Look after yourself. Lean on your wife. That's what these marriages are for. And I just wish you all the best. And I hope you do get a chance to grieve properly. And very, very soon you'll be able to have that wake and celebrate your father's life and remember all the good things about him. And just hope that you can move on. Really appreciate you joining us.